Hi, so why shouldn't weight loss be your only goal? My name is June Melia, and I have been a certified personal trainer for 25 years. And one thing I always tell my clients that come to see me is that weight loss should not be your only goal. And there's a couple reasons for that. Um, First, it can really set you up for disappointment, right? Because when you put all of your eggs in a basket that you don't have total control over, it can be really frustrating when it doesn't go your way, right? So you may start out with a new exercise routine, a new diet plan, and you might think, this is it. I'm going to lose 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 pounds, whatever it might be. And a week might go by, a couple weeks might go by, and you might feel really frustrated that nothing's heading your way. Nothing has changed the way that you thought as quickly as you thought. And that might get you really discouraged because that's your only goal. That's like the reason why you're doing what you're doing, while you're putting in the work and the energy and the sweat and the tears and maybe early mornings, maybe not eating foods that you really miss and you feel frustrated. And so I always tell my clients that they need to have other goals besides just the weight loss goal. So um, I have a few solutions. So I recommend that you're going to sit down and you're going to come up with maybe just two other goals that you feel like you have control over. So you can have goals that are time-based. So you might just say, every day I'm going to get 30 minutes of cardio, and 3 days a week I'm going to get 30 minutes of strength training in. And that's my goal, and that's what I'm going to do for the next 30 days is I'm going to really stick to that goal. And see, that's a goal you have control over pretty much. And so every day when you complete those goals, you feel that it's like a dopamine hit of putting a little check mark on your planner, your exercise planner, and it will make you feel good, right? It makes you feel good because you're like, I did it. I had two things for the day that I really needed to do, and I did it. And so having those goals accomplished that you have total control over is just so important. And so I always recommend to my clients that they have that type of a goal. Maybe it's cutting sugar out for a whole month or a whole week or whatever it might be. Or maybe it's turning your screens off at least an hour before bedtime and reading a book instead of scrolling. Things like that, even things that might feel indirect to your health goals, but they kind of are, like the one I just mentioned with the screen time. So write down a couple things that you want to accomplish besides that. Another really great goal that you can think about completing is something like an event goal. So it could be an official event, like you're gonna run your first 5K, or you're going to try your first triathlon, or something along those lines, where it's like an official event, like you pay the money and then you get to participate. It could be a fundraising activity, and that might be really great for you to try. So that's one thing you can do. So right now it's October, and you could say, hey, by the first of the year, I'm setting a goal to run my first 5K. There's lots of New Year's 5Ks, even in cold weather. And so that might feel really good to you. And it's something that you can follow a plan and chip away at and feel like you're actually accomplishing something, even though sometimes when you step on the scale, you might feel like this isn't working. Okay. Another thing you can do is just like, is there a hike that you've always wanted to complete? Is there some other kind of event or it's that kind of an activity that you've always wanted to do, but you've never felt like you're in good enough shape to do it. So say you want to, I live in Massachusetts, maybe, there's like a 4,000 footer in New Hampshire you want to go try and do. You could set a goal to do that, and you can figure out what you need to do in order to complete that. There's lots of group hikes around here in New England, so you could get involved in that, and you can go in and do something like that. So it's not an official thing, but it's something that you're like, okay, if I really stuck to my goal for 90 days and I really was consistent and I really hit the gym, could I do it? I trained for a open water swim. I swam across Lake Champlain, and I set aside a year to do it. I remember registering in August and spending a year of really consistent, hard training, and it was amazing. It's probably one of my proudest moments. So that kind of thing, an event, a hike, something like that keeps you, a club. You could join a club with other people, of people who like to do things like that. There's century rides on your bike or half century rides you could train for. And if you find that you really like strength training, you could find a goal for strength training. Like, how much do you want to bench? All of those kinds of things. And if you really like it, you could find a club or something that you could join and you could participate, and that would be great for you. So that is my tip to you, is don't get stuck in this weight loss thing primarily, because it can be disappointing sometimes. And if you feel like you're putting in all the work and you're not getting results that you think you should be getting, it's better to have some other goals on there too that you are chipping away at, so you get that feeling like, oh yeah, I'm accomplishing this, and it's feeling really good. So that is my advice to you. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that was helpful. If you'd like to subscribe, please feel free. If you have done this, if you have set a goal for yourself to complete something and you completed it, post it below, because all those accomplishments are fantastic. Okay, I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. I hope you stop by again, and I'll see you soon. Bye.